I want to give you a quick crash course on small business bookkeeping. And if you are a beginner, if you are a business owner and you want to have a clear idea about bookkeeping this year, let me share with you a few tips, a few strategies, a few hacks to actually make sure that you are really running your business from a bookkeeping point of view pretty well, if you will. Let me give you first the synopsis. Now, when you think about bookkeeping, this is actually a practice that allows businesses, entrepreneurs, and decision makers to monitor a company's overall financial health and activity. So that's actually the focus. When you think about bookkeeping, think about financial health and financial activity. Okay. The thing is, without basic bookkeeping practices, it's very easy when you think about it for, let's say, financial transactions and spending activities to get out of control. And this can really lead to big problems. It can lead to confusion. It can lead to disorganization. It can lead to loss of profit and what have you. So you are having a situation where things are disorganized. Okay. So despite the importance of accurate bookkeeping practices, most entrepreneurs still are not really comfortable about the bookkeeping and how they can really use it to their advantage. So in today's conversation, I want to really clarify things for you. So long story short, bookkeeping, just think about it as the regular practice of updating your company's financial records to reflect all financial transactions. Is bookkeeping actually the same as accounting? No. Bookkeeping is, if you were to think about accounting versus bookkeeping, accounting is the more advanced version of bookkeeping. Bookkeeping helps you with financial transactions, the recording, and accounting really focuses on the reporting aspect of things. So financial reports, you have to report your balance sheet, your profit and loss, and also your cash flow statement, among other things. So this is important. Okay, so bookkeeping is different from accounting in that it is the critical first step in tracking all business activities. So just remember that. So while bookkeeping provides oversight into each individual transaction in order to catch discrepancies and correct mistakes, accounting provides a thorough analysis of these numbers. So that's the reporting aspect of things. Now, why should your small business need bookkeeping? Well, for a lot of reasons. You are able to create organized and detailed financial reports. You can be more prepared when it comes to filing taxes. You can understand business transactions at a granular level, at a very detailed level, and you can make a plan for profitability that leads to improved cash flow and long-term success. So that's a lot of benefits right there. So the thing is, when it comes to small business bookkeeping, especially the bookkeeping options for small business owners, you have a lot of options. You have a lot of options, but I just want to talk about, let's say, 3 options. First option, accounting software. Second option, external consultants and outsourcing. And third option, DIY or let's say in-house bookkeeping. So when you think about the accounting software, well, you are able to get things done real fast. Nothing really complicated, especially nowadays. Accounting software is becoming, easy and easy to use. You don't need to have a PhD in accounting. You don't need to have some kind of background in accounting. You don't. Okay. When you think about QuickBooks, when you think about FreshBooks, when you think about Xero, when you think about Wave, you don't need to understand the basics of credits and debits to actually use those software tools for your bookkeeping. Okay. So you are able to just start real fast, especially because you have a lot of features that can help you with invoice generation, for instance, purchase order sending, project management capabilities. So you have a lot of stuff. So accounting software is the first option you might want to think about. Second option, external consultants and outsourcing. So you do have an entire profession. You have professional bookkeepers and accounting professionals that actually are there for hire. So if you need bookkeeping, you can reach out to organizations that provide that kind of service. If you don't need to have a CPA for your bookkeeping. A CPA will be too much, will be too costly for you, and especially a CPA. You don't use a CPA for bookkeeping. You can just have someone who has some bookkeeping training and use that person. But you can outsource the whole task to an organization. Okay, and the cool thing about outsourcing is that you don't need to look for somebody local. You can be maybe in New York and have a bookkeeper in Iowa. You can have a bookkeeper in Texas. Okay, because the whole thing is you can transfer your data via cloud, so that's really good. The third option is external. The third option is DIY. So you can hire someone part time or full time to actually take care of bookkeeping, or you can do it yourself if you're interested in bookkeeping, if you want to learn more about the practice. So when it comes to small business bookkeeping, let me share with you the steps. I just gave you a synopsis of the whole topic. Now, how do you start bookkeeping in your small business this year? First thing first, you want to open the right account. Okay. So when I speak about having the right accounts, I'm speaking about the right bank accounts. So you want to really start by having a business bank account. Don't really mingle don't mix your personal affairs with your business affairs. Okay. You want to if you have an account right now, a bank account right now, you want to open a second account. And the cool thing is you can have a business bank account. It can be a business checking account, a business savings account, and you can open the account at the same bank where you were at. You can open the account at the same credit union where you were at. Don't try to reinvent the wheel. Just leverage the relationship you've already built with a financial institution. And so that's the first thing you want to do. After opening the right accounts, you want to choose a bookkeeping method. Okay. So when it comes to bookkeeping, you have a single entry bookkeeping and you have double entry bookkeeping. So double entry bookkeeping is actually the industry standards because it most accurately records and matches activity to every affected account. So most accounting software actually have options to work in both methods. So if you want to keep things simple, then you can just have the single entry bookkeeping. After choosing a bookkeeping method, you also want to choose an accounting method. So with accounting method, you have cash-based and you have accrual. So same thing, cash-based is simpler, and accrual is actually the one compliant with U.S. GAAP. U.S. GAAP, United States generally accepted accounting principles. Okay, and so accrual accounting records are pretty more compliant in the sense that here you have invoices and bills that are recorded even if they haven't been paid. And accrual accounting is preferred because it gives a more complete snapshot of your company's financial performance and more accurately matches expenses with revenue. So that's kind of cool. You also want to establish realistic payment terms. So here I'm speaking here about making and recording sales transactions on time, every time, so that you can allow your accounting system to use the payment terms to calculate customer receivable due dates. I'm talking about things like net 30, net 15, net 45. And finally, you want to set up payroll. So if you want to really set up your bookkeeping, you got to set up payroll, especially if you have employees working for you. Okay, and so with after setting up payroll, you will be able to calculate the gross pay for each employee. Okay, and you can also basically know exactly how to comply with tax laws at the states and federal level when it comes to payroll taxes. Let me talk to you about key aspects here. So if you think about small business bookkeeping, you have to really pay attention to keeping your receipts. That's going to be very, very critical for you, okay? You always want to keep your receipts. And the receipts are going to help you, especially if you ever, God forbid, if you ever get audited by the IRS, at least you have proof of whatever you're putting on your taxes, whatever you're trying to really write off in your taxes, okay? So for both sales and purchases, you want to have, let's say, detailed, complete records of all transactions. Again, I don't care how many transactions you have, okay? If you have thousands, if not millions of transactions, you still want to keep a copy of the receipts. Maybe you want to digitize. If you have a lot of transactions, you want to digitize things so that you don't have to have like a pile of paperwork in your office. So you'll need to note the amount, the date, and any other important details to ensure you can accurately summarize your finances when it comes for tax, when it comes time for tax season. And one thing I want to say here is that the IRS pays, they pay attention a lot to purchase receipts. So you want to always keep purchase receipts because you want to have proof that the purchase took place in the first place. And so next, you want to, so after keeping your receipts, you want to keep a ledger. So the information you get from your receipts should actually go in some kind of ledger, usually a digital option. And this ledger acts as a tool to summarize your business's overall financial performance and should include things like your revenue, your business expenses, and any other information actually that your company chooses to keep track of. And you have to also create financial reports. That's going to be very key here. What financial reports? Well, using the data you gain from keeping a ledger, you will be able to generate and prepare financial reports for analysis. So here I'm speaking about balance sheets, I'm speaking about cash flow statements, and I'm speaking about profit and loss. Additionally, the aged accounts receivable and aged accounts payable reports are helpful in knowing which clients have not paid and which vendors are yet to be paid. These reports will help you gain greater insights into the financial health of your small business. Next thing you want to do here is that you want to proactively handle tax liabilities. I want to insist on that because if you don't pay attention to your tax liabilities, you could be out of business. I mean, you don't want the IRS to come after your business. You don't want state tax authorities to come after your business, right? So when you keep detailed, organized records of your business transactions, tax season certainly won't feel like such a discouraging chore. By being proactive with your bookkeeping, what happened here is that you will save your small business time when it comes to taxes. Simply turn your financial statements over to your CPA or other tax filings expert and let them handle the rest. By the way, you can have also an EA, an enrolled agent, or you can reach out to a tax attorney, depending on how complex your business taxes are. Alternatively, you can use the same records to make the most of a cloud-based accounting software system, okay? So you can collaborate with your accountants and bookkeepers throughout the year. Next, you want to become familiar with bookkeeping statements. And so bookkeeping statements are quite essential for many reasons. Bookkeeping statements are kind of similar to financial statements. And so they showcase your business's stability, okay? And if your business accounts for, let's say, accounts for multiple transactions throughout the year, you want at the end you want to show a profitable business, you want to show a healthy business, and you want to show a scalable business. So when it comes to bookkeeping statements, you have income statements, you have balance sheets, and you also have a chart of accounts. So bookkeepers use a chart of accounts to actually see all the accounts in a company's general ledger. So that's kind of cool from a granular point of view. And so in many instances, an accountant prepares the initial chart and the bookkeeper references it while recording transactions. So that's kind of cool. And this chart of accounts actually will show you, let's say, a breakdown of the various accounts your business may have, displaying each one's description, account number, account type, and total balance. And this helps you get a big picture perspective of your various accounts, which will help you set goals and priorities for your business, not only in the short run, but also in the long run. And what I want to say here is that you have the possibility to get things done at a very granular level, but you have to really act fast, okay? So that's really important to keep that in mind. So when it comes to small business bookkeeping, let me share with you a few tips here that you need to really pay attention to this year. First of all, you want to bring your bookkeeper up to speed. I mean, it's one of those things where, and this is if you are doing things DIY, let's say doing things in-house, or you're just reaching out to an organization outside to kind of help you out, okay? So occasionally you might hear financial professionals reference a backlog, This refers to a collection of past records, transactions, and financial statements that a bookkeeper needs in order to learn the history of a business. So when you first begin the bookkeeping journey, collect everything you have that could be relevant to establishing financial history. And again, this doesn't matter if you're doing it in-house or you're doing it outside. Okay, you want to keep personal and business costs separate. I've already touched on that. You want to track absolutely everything. When it comes to bookkeeping, tracking really is preeminent. Okay, as your business grows, it becomes easier to let small activities slip. So since good record keeping relies on accurate expense tracking, you want to monitor all transactions, you want to keep receipts, and you want to watch business credit card activity. So many bookkeeping software options automate the tracking process to actually help you eliminate errors this year. You want to plan ahead for taxes. You want to set aside an emergency fund for major expenses. And also, and this is an important one, you want to regularly cross-check and audit files because you just never know. Never leave the practice of bookkeeping or your business assets to chance. No matter what system you implement, you want to have a backup strategy. Now, what's the backup strategy? Well, the backup strategy will depend on the industry that you're in. But at a minimum, you want to incorporate, let's say, a practice of reconciliations by comparing, for instance, the numbers in your system to the source records. Source records can be bank statements, receipts, and invoices. So this habit, if done right, improves communication, boosts transparency with your bookkeeping team, and also does something even better. It promotes longevity and compliance. So when it comes to small business bookkeeping, if you choose to actually outsource your bookkeeping to a third party, you have to actually think about budgeting. You have to think about costs, right? Because bookkeeping can be cheap or can be expensive depending on how you set it up. Whether you are reaching out to an online bookkeeping platform or you just reaching out to your local bookkeeper. So although bookkeeping is an investment, it's generally more affordable than attempting to correct costly mistakes down the road. So when it comes to budgeting for bookkeeping, the difference depends on whether you hire or manage, using software tools. If you are able to manage using software tools, you can save a lot of cash. But hey, listen, it also demands some kind of scrutiny. Let's say a professional bookkeeper may charge you somewhere from $30 to $90 per hour for their services. And this amount can range based on the bookkeeper's location, level of expertise, and availability. Bookkeeping software ranges from free services with limited functionality to full-fledged accounting suites. So you are looking at somewhere from $0 to $25 per month based on the number of clients or accounts required. Typically, higher-priced service plans offer greater visibility, functionality, and automation. And when it comes to bookkeeping, you also have to understand that there are some mistakes, some business mistakes or business bookkeeping mistakes you want to avoid. For instance, don't hire a bookkeeper only at tax time. You want to really establish that relationship all year long. Don't communicate about financial reports and activities only, in a limited manner. You have to be straightforward with your bookkeeper. Be as transparent as possible. And also choose the right accounting method. I think I told you before, you have cash method and you have the accrual method. Choose the accrual method because whether it's cash basis or accrual, choose the system that's most appropriate for your specific needs and industry. The chosen method affects record keeping, expense tracking, and most importantly, interactions with the IRS. So you want to be clear from the get-go about what works for you and what doesn't work for you. So here's the verdict. Into this conversation, I spoke to you about I gave you a small business guide, small business bookkeeping guide. I give you the synopsis, the steps, the key aspects, the top tips, and now the verdict. Thank you so much. God bless you. I'll see you next time. Until then, remember, stay marvelous.